everyone. Welcome to the video series of the subject Object-Oriented Programming using Java. Myself, Hemali Shah. I am working as an assistant professor in LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. In this video lecture, I am going to cover the topic this keyword, garbage collector concept, and the finalized function which are available in Java. And this particular topic is a part of unit number 2, classes, objects and methods. So let's talk about this keyword and garbage collector. So can you think about it? Can't you use the local variable name as a class instance variable name? So here you must have the idea about what is local variable and what is class instance variable. The data member which you are declaring inside the class body, that all are the instance variable, and the local variable, that means the variable that you are declaring inside the function or as a function definition parameter arguments of that function. These all are the local variables, right? So whenever we are using this local variable name and class instance variable name same, what will happen? Can we use like this? So let's try this thing. So here when you are using this both the names same, you have to differentiate it by using this keyword. So here this is a basically reference keyword. This keyword can be used to refer the current object of a class in a method or in a constructor. Now typical use of this keyword, it is basically used to resolve the name conflict between this local variable and class instance variable. So it basically avoids the variable name collision problem when this local variable name and class instance variable name are same. Now it is basically used to call the constructor of the same class from another constructor. So basically it actually maintain the call of the chain function call chain between the constructors. It basically, the third use of this keyword, it refers the current instance of inside your program. So current instance of the class will be referred by this particular pointer. So here this particular you can't use this in a static context of the class. So if you are going to making a static function or static block, then you can't use this keyword in a static function. So keep in mind your main is a static function, so you can't use this in a public static void main, right? Now to use this particular syntax, the first syntax is to refer the current instance variable. For that the syntax is like this then dot variable. This is basically used to differentiate the class instance variable and the local variable when both having the same name. So here this is the example having class instance variable integer a in class A, and inside the constructor the local variable name I have declared as a int a. So to differentiate this local variable a and class instance variable a, both are the small a, that's why to differentiate both the things we are using this dot a equals to a. So inside this constructor, whenever you are using only small a, it basically refers to local variable, and whenever you are using this dot a, it basically refers the class instance variable. So ultimately we are doing class instance variable a equals to local variable a value, right? So here you have to use this particular thing. Now second particular thing that we can use with this is to invoke the current class method. So by default, whenever you are calling the function within the class, it by default calling with this syntax only, this dot method, then you can pass the parameter. So this is basically used to inside the same class to call the same class function with this current reference of the object of a same class, right? Now third syntax that you can use to invoke the current class constructors from another constructor. So this is the basic syntax that you can use when you are using this with the constructor call, this, then you just need to pass the parameter and keep the semicolon. Now this particular syntax you can only use inside the constructor only. So keep in mind, you have to use this particular thing inside the constructor only. And this particular thing is used for the chain invocation of the constructor of the same class, right? And the more about this keyword, can we use this in a public static void main function? What you will give as an answer? No, we can't use this in a public static void main. What is the reason behind this? This basically refers the instance variable, current instance variable of the class, and static thing is basically related to class property, not an instance property. So this you cannot refer from any static syntax, static things of the class. So this public static void main is a static function. That's why we cannot use this inside the public static void main, right? This should be the answer. Now let's use this particular syntax of this in the same example. Here we have to create a two object with the following value that we are already using in the previous video lectures, and inside the constructor overloading concept we have to use this class instance variable name and this local variable name, both same in the same example. So here this is the example. So let's try to use the syntax of this over here. So here let's use this keyword over here. So here I am writing this, here I am making the class instance variable same as local variable name. So here this name I am taking, so this is same as the class instance variable. Now inside the constructor we are doing the same thing. Whenever you are writing like this, what will happen? You are copying the same thing in a same variable, right? So name equals to name, that means name data you are copying in the name variable. So it will there is no error and it will work like work perfectly, but you will not get your data, right? So to differentiate these particular things, we have to use here this dot name equals to local instance variable name over here, right? So use this particular thing over here. Now let's put this all the local class instance variable name with the same name as a local variable name. So here I am changing name, then changing gender, then change this all the local variable names same as class instance variable, age, then standard std, then marks के लिए m, for the marks m is a variable. Now to differentiate this all the local variable with the class instance variable, we have to use over here this dot name equals to name, then this dot gender equals to gender we have to use, then this dot standard equals to standard we have to use, right? Like this we have to do this all the things over here, right? Now here we don't need to change. Now we can use this syntax over here also in display function. Say for the example, this all is the data of a display function, so we can call the display function from this display char function, right? So instead of printing this all the things over here, let's call this display function that is just above this thing. The same thing is also available over here. This display function statements I'm removing and just calling the display function of the same class. For that, this dot display is the syntax. This basically involves the display function that we have created just before this function, right? So here also I am calling the this dot display function. So this display function will be invoked, which is over here, right? And you will get the output of this particular display function in your program. So to call this particular function of a same class, we are using the syntax. So here if you are not using this dot display, then also it will works with the same way. So both the things are same. because whenever you are only using the function name, it basically uses the current instance variable to call this particular function. That's why, right? So both the syntax are similar, right? Now by using this syntax, you can remove the repeated code. Now here I am displaying the current instance variable by using this keyword. So inside this I am using only this particular thing. You will get the answer as a at the rate, then you will get some hash code. That is the basically current instance variable hash code you will get, right? Now let's try to paint this all the things. And the third use, let's try about the third use. What is the third use? You can call the constructor from the another constructor, right? So here these all are the constructor. I want to call the another constructor of so here we can call the constructor like this. This should be the first line of the constructor. Then I want to pass the string as a parameter. So here at the time of using this, I am just passing the value for this name variable. So here I am passing my name. So it automatically call this string argument student constructor. So now you don't need the line this name dot my name over here, because you are calling the constructor and the assignment of name value is already available in string parameterized student constructor, right? That's why. Now this many other things is also going to repeat. You can remove that particular code from the previous constructor also. Now let's call this student 5 parameterized constructor from here. For that I have to use here this. Then just pass the 5 parameters. First is a name I want to pass, then gender I have to pass. This boy is a gender, so just copying this thing and passing over here. The second parameter is particular gender, that's why I am putting over here. Now third parameter is age, that's why here I am passing as a 5, right? And here I have to pass the standard. The next parameter is standard. 1 is a standard value and max value is a 5, so that's why I am passing 5 as a value. Now you can remove this all the statements from here, because you are already calling this constructor by using this syntax, so there is no need of that statements. So here you can remove the repeated code by calling the constructors from another constructor, right? Now here you cannot call the another constructor like this. You can call only one constructor, because the first statement of this constructor should be this. You can't use this as a second statement of any constructor, right? Now, so here this these syntax basically removes this repeated code. Now here this actually removes the repeated code. Same way it's also removing the repeated code from here also, right? Now let's try to execute this particular thing, and let's check the outputs for this particular program, right? So this now here you can also use this syntax over here like this dot name equals to name, then this dot gender equals to gender, right? Because here we are using the local variable name same as class instance variable name, that's why we have to change this all the things over here also. This dot gender equals to gender, this dot age equals to age, this dot standard equals to standard, this dot max equals to max. So here you can use the syntax of this over here, right? Now here another use, you can use this dot in the display also. You can use the this that dot gender, this dot name, this dot age, this dot standard over here. Though you are not using it, always refers to current instance variable. So when you can use directly the class instance variable name, or you can use with the this also. like this, right? Right? These both the things are same. So whenever you are calling the constructor, you can use this all the things, right? Okay. Now, uh, now let's call this all the display function by using the objects s1, s2. So let's try to compile this program also. Java C. It compiles successfully. Now let's run this program Java, then student test, use this reference dot class, remove this thing, and see here we are getting this output, right? See here, this all the objects are going to display over here. The this all the objects I'm going to display with a student as a name, and right now here we have printed this s1, and in the display function we have used this, right? So whenever you are checking this hash code, in display function we used this. Now what will happen in this case? This particular thing actually displaying like this student is a class name @7852E900 is a hash code. So your current object having some hash code, and this is also refers to the same object at that time, both actually displaying the same hash code. So by using this hash code you can identify whether the object is same or not, right? S2 having also same value but the display this. So this is basically a moving pointer that actually points to the current reference. So for the first time this refers to S1, for the second time this refers to S2. That's why you are getting the hash code of this object 2. Now whenever you are printing this student 2, student 3 object, here the student 3 object hash code and student by using s3, whenever you are calling display inside this display function, both having the same value, right? So this is a basically moving pointer. It refers to the current object, right? So it always display and it checks which is the current object in our program, and it always display the hash code of the current object, right? So hope you people are clear with the syntax of this keyword, and this is basically a pointer that refers to the current object, right? Now let's move further in our program. Garbage collector. Now what is garbage collector? Now what is garbage collector? Garbage collection is a mechanism to remove objects from the memory when they are no longer needed. Now it is also called automatic memory management, as JVM is automatically removes the unused variables and objects when its value becomes null from the memory. The garbage collector, short name GC, basically keeps the track of how many references of an object has. Now it basically removes the object from the heap memory area when it has no longer any reference available in your program. Now the memory occupied by the object can be reused again for the new object also. The garbage collector, more about it. Every class inherit finalize method from java.lang.object is a class, java.lang is a package name, object class is a superclass of all the class having one finalize function. This finalize method is called by this garbage collector when it determines no more references available for particular object which is exist. Now by calling the system is a class, GC is a function, that is the static function system.gc, or you can call the runtime is a class and GC is a static function. By calling this runtime.gc function, JVM tries to recycle the unused object and it always free up the memory occupied by this unused object. Now, no guarantee that garbage collection will start immediately upon the request when you actually invoke this system.gc, right? So every time this invocation is depends on the JVM. So it may be possible this thread delay for some times, and it will not actually call immediately this system.gc. So keep in mind, whenever you are calling it not call that immediately when you actually invokes it. JVM will decide when this system.gc should be invoked, right? Now, what is this finalize method? This is whenever you are making a constructor, this basically helps to initialize an object, and this is just after creating the objects, right? Just like that. In contrast, this finalize method is automatically invoked just before object is going to destroyed from the heap memory area, right? So whenever you want to know whether your object is going to display it, you have to implement this finalize function of an object class inside your class definition. So this implemented finalize function will be used when the unusual way of removing object from the memory and is insufficient, and some special action that you want to carry out when your class object going to destroy from the memory. At that time, you should override this finalize function which is available in the object class, right? So at that time, you should go for this finalize function. There is no destructor in Java because of the reason this finalize is a function which basically works destructor in Java language. In other language, the destructor syntaxes are available. In C++, you have the syntax of the destructor. But here in Java, there is no syntax of the destructor. The reason behind that is this objects class finalize functions actually works as a destructor. That's why. Right? Now, you have to implement this example of a finalize function. You have to create this object C's by calling the constructor, and you have to override this finalize function, and you have to demonstrate the use of GC. Right? Here the output will be different every time whenever you are running it, and based on the JVM, the output will be changed. So let's try this particular example over here. So let's try this destructor syntax in our program. So inside our program, I am having this finalize function. In this function, I use this finalize function over here, and here I have created this many objects as 3 object, 100 object of the student class inside this for loop. So whenever I'm going to create the object, it automatically invokes the constructor, and in the constructor I have used this ram and I variable, so that all the students you will get as a name as a ram 0, ram 1, ram 2. It is just an identifier so that you can get the idea which object is going to create and which object is going to remove, right? So this I have created local objects over here, and it when this for loops over, this local object will be unused, and at the time of this unused object will occupy the memory, and at the time of this closing of for loop, this object will be removed from the memory. But the removation will be done by this garbage collector decision only. So when your memory becomes full, then and only then this garbage collector actually removes the memory occupied by these objects. So if you want to invoke the garbage collector with yourself, you have to use the syntax of system.gc. Now let's try to compile this particular program. It actually creates this all the objects. See here, this constructor is going to invoke and this particular things you are getting as an output. Here s is a local variable is and it is only accessible within the for loop, right? Now there is no, in each iteration there is no use of this s variable. Now this all the objects are available in memory. Now I want to call this garbage collector explicitly, so here I have to call this system.gc function, so that I can get whether the destructor or finalize function is going to call or not. So let's open this command prompt and try to compile it again, and see here you will get the different output every time, right? So here this finalize function will be invoked, and see here we are getting this output deleted RAM 99, right? This only one object is going to delete. So whenever this object is going to remove, this automatically run. Now let me run this program again. Here 100 object, only one object is going to remove, right? Here I am rerunning this program in the different window. I will get the different output, or on the different JVM we will get the different output. So let me run this program on the another window. So student, this use of this GC, see here this RAM 16 number object is going to delete, or it might be possible you will get some different deleted object before this statements also, right? So here we are actually creating 100 object and only one object is going to remove, right? Now here the output we are getting from this finalize function, and object is going to delete that we are getting from this finalize function, and this I have used to get the basic reference of this variable, right? Now it might be possible you will get some different output every time, and you might get the same output also. So on the different JVM you will get the different outputs, right? So hope you people are clear with this particular thing. So hope you people are clear with the concept of this keyword and garbage collector and finalize function. So here I am going to end this particular session now. Thank you for watching it. Thank you all of you.